The story begins by showing a violent attack. Humans who have turned into zombies begin assaulting others, causing the virus to spread rapidly across the city. Amid the chaos, we see a teenage girl named Kate trying desperately to save her mother. However, it becomes clear that her mother is beyond saving. Overwhelmed with fear and panic, Kate is forced to run away, leaving her mother behind. Years pass, and nearly a decade later, Kate is now a grown woman. She has become a dedicated doctor. One day, a pair of worried parents bring their young son to the facility. The child has been infected, and they are desperate for help. Calm and professional, Kate reassures them that their son will receive proper care and monitoring throughout the treatment process. In this world, those who have been infected are not immediately turned into zombies. Instead, they are injected with a special protein known as the return protein, which halts the progression of the virus in the body. However, the treatment is only temporary and must be administered daily. If even one injection is missed, the virus will resume its course, and the person will transform fully into a zombie within 24 hours. Because of this, the treatment is a strict, lifelong commitment. The government and medical professionals refer to those infected and currently stable as the returned. This status has become the center of major controversy. Later, the same couple who had brought in their son returns to the hospital, now cleared to take him home. Kate gives them clear, firm instructions. They must continue giving the daily injections without fail. This is the only way to keep their son safe and prevent a transformation. Until scientists find a permanent cure, the protein is their only hope. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Alex, Kate's husband, who works as a music teacher. One day, while teaching, a student makes a cruel joke mocking someone infected by the virus. Alex, who himself is a returned, is deeply affected by the comment. He has kept his condition a secret from everyone except Kate and a select group of medical professionals who help treat him. To ensure Alex never misses a dose, Kate secretly buys and stockpiles extra vials of the protein, even though regulations limit the amount that can be legally distributed. She knows the protein is made from spinal fluid extracted from dead zombies, a substance that is increasingly difficult to obtain. If production were ever disrupted, those like Alex could face fatal consequences. That night, Alex and Kate host a dinner at their apartment, inviting their close friends Jacob and his wife Amber, a writer. Over the meal, Amber shares stories from her latest book, and eventually the conversation turns serious. In a moment of vulnerability, Alex reveals the truth. He is one of the returned. He begins to share the story of how he was infected. Years ago, he had gone to a local music shop to buy a guitar, but instead of browsing instruments, he witnessed the store clerk collapsing and convulsing. Alex rushed to help, but during the chaos, he was scratched. That minor wound led to his infection. He was taken to a military hospital, where he underwent early trials of the protein treatment. Fortunately, his recovery progressed well, and he was later transferred to a civilian hospital, where he met Kate. Though the dinner conversation grows awkward, Jacob and Amber remain supportive. Despite the shock, they treat Alex the same. Their bond is strong, and the friendship they share is not so easily shaken. The next day, Kate attends a high-level meeting where she presents her proposal to secure funding for the development of a synthetic permanent version of the protein. This new formula would fully eliminate the virus, removing the daily dependency and the looming threat of transformation. However, during her presentation, a man interrupts, challenging her proposal. He argues that investing in synthetic protein is a waste of time and resources. To him, the returned are dangerous and unstable, nothing more than ticking time bombs. He insists they should be quarantined, far away from uninfected society. Kate, deeply offended and emotionally shaken, especially since her husband is among those this man considers a threat, immediately stands up to him. She declares that the returned are still human, just like everyone else, and that they deserve compassion, support, and the chance to live normal lives. She passionately defends the synthetic protein project as the only humane and long-term solution. Kate's emotional speech during the funding meeting moves many of those present. Her words resonate strongly with the crowd, and slowly, people begin to nod in agreement. The man who had challenged her earlier, now visibly irritated and outnumbered, retreats from the debate, unsatisfied with the outcome. The next day, while Kate continues her usual hospital duties, tragedy strikes. The hospital is suddenly attacked by an extremist anti-returned group. These radicals believe that the returned are no different than zombies and pose a serious threat to society. In the brutal assault, the rebels mercilessly kill several returned patients who were undergoing treatment, executing them without hesitation. Kate, who witnesses the horrifying incident, is left in shock. The violence, the loss, and the cruelty overwhelm her. Her heart breaks as she realizes how deeply the public has been manipulated into fearing the returned, seeing them not as people, but as monsters. The following morning, still devastated by the attack, Kate approaches the hospital director, Dr. Dave, and requests a 1-month leave from work. He grants her permission, understanding the trauma she has just endured. Determined to protect her husband at all costs, Kate visits Eve, a black market supplier who has been discreetly helping her obtain extra doses of the returned protein. But Eve tells her the supply has become scarce since the recent attack, and she doesn't have much left. Desperate, Kate begs her to gather as much as she possibly can. She's willing to pay any price. It's a matter of life and death. Though Eve doesn't know who the protein is for, she senses the urgency in Kate's voice and agrees to help. She seems genuinely concerned for Kate's safety and warns her before she leaves. Eve has heard rumors that the same group responsible for the hospital attack is now targeting returned individuals by tracking down patient lists stolen during the assault. Hearing this, Kate panics. If those attackers have the full records of everyone treated at the hospital, it's only a matter of time before Alex's name and location are discovered. Her fears are confirmed when she arrives to find Alex under attack by a stranger, one of the anti-returned extremists who clearly has access to confidential patient information. After the struggle, they dispose of the intruder's body in a remote location, understanding that any trace could lead more attackers their way. Realizing they are no longer safe, Kate and Alex make the decision to flee. They pack their things and begin storing their limited protein supply into a cooler. Just as they are finishing preparations, the doorbell rings. It's Jacob and Amber, their close friends. They've come to check on them and offer help, suggesting Kate and Alex take shelter at their home. But Kate and Alex politely refuse. They don't want to drag their friends into danger or make them targets by association. Instead, they decide to stay in a small hotel for the time being. A few days later, while dining quietly at a restaurant, Kate and Alex are surprised when Jacob and Amber show up again. The two friends insist that they're concerned for their safety. Jacob explains that there have been multiple coordinated attacks across the city, including more hospitals, and that the situation is deteriorating fast. Returned individuals are being hunted. He urges them to reconsider and stay at their house, which is far more secure. With no better options and mounting risks, Kate and Alex agree. After staying there for several days, Kate begins to feel fortunate to have such loyal friends. One evening, while sitting together, she informs them that the next day she will meet Eve to collect 60 doses of protein. After that, they plan to leave the area for good. She explains that she doesn't want to endanger Jacob and Amber any further. They've already helped enough. The next morning, Kate heads to Eve's place, but what she finds horrifies her. Eve has been murdered. The scene shows clear signs of another rebel attack. During her brief inspection of the area, Kate finds a small item on the ground, a broken fingernail. To her shock, she recognizes it as Amber's. The realization sends her into a panic. She immediately calls Alex and tells him to check the protein cooler. To their dismay, the entire stock is gone. Their worst fear is confirmed. Jacob and Amber have betrayed them and stolen the protein supply. Alex is devastated. His survival depends on those daily injections, and now they are gone. The betrayal is not only cruel, it could be fatal. Meanwhile, Jacob and Amber open the cooler at their hideout. It becomes clear that Amber herself is one of the returned. She took the protein to ensure her own safety. What began as a gesture of friendship was nothing more than a calculated move for self-preservation. Back at the house, Kate, now more determined than ever, refuses to let Alex die. With time running out, she sets out to find one last possible source. She heads to the nearest hospital, hoping that in the chaos, some leftover vials of the protein might still be there. Meanwhile, Alex remains at the apartment when he receives a phone call from Jacob. On the other end, Jacob is in tears, apologizing for his betrayal. He tries to justify his actions by explaining that he couldn't bear the thought of losing his wife Amber, who is also a returned. Despite his anger and pain, Alex still pleads with his friend, asking him to at least return a few vials of the protein, just enough to keep him alive a little longer. He says he's not ready to leave Kate, not like this. But Jacob, driven by fear and selfishness, refuses. He has no intention of helping. His response leaves Alex crushed. The realization hits him hard. He's running out of time, and no help is coming. In the quiet that follows, Alex begins thinking about what he can do to protect Kate in his final hours. He remembers the chained zombie he once saw and starts to contemplate the reality of his own transformation.
So that everybody, including...
Get him too.
So what do you suggest I do? Just...
Back at the hospital, a protest erupts. A crowd of returned individuals begins demonstrating, demanding that production of the life-saving protein be resumed. Inside, Kate pleads with Dr. Dave, the hospital director, asking him to help save her husband's life. At first, Dave hesitates, but his compassion finally overcomes him. Dave leads Kate to a hidden storage room within the hospital, a place few know about. There, he reveals a stash of protein vials. It's not a permanent solution, but it's enough to keep Alex alive until the synthetic formula is approved and widely available. Overcome with emotion, Kate thanks him deeply. With the protein in hand, she immediately contacts Alex to share the news. Alex is overwhelmed with relief, but what they don't realize is that someone has overheard their conversation, and that person, already unhinged, begins to act irrationally. Later that day, as Kate returns to the apartment, her heart weighs heavily. The desperation of their situation, the constant danger, and the risk of losing Alex all seem too much to bear. She finds Alex, visibly weaker now, and tells him everything. They embrace tightly, both of them understanding that time is slipping away. Alex's condition worsens, his body is failing, and the virus is winning. He looks at Kate and tells her he doesn't want to become something he's not. He doesn't want to turn into a monster. With tears in her eyes, Kate listens. She doesn't want to let go, but deep inside, she understands. Eventually, Kate grants his final wish. As much as it breaks her, she allows him to go before the virus takes full control. The pain is unbearable. After the tragedy, Kate, now grieving, shattered, leaves the apartment. As she steps outside, Dr. Dave arrives, visibly excited. He says he's been trying to reach her but got no response. Confused and silent, Kate just stares at him. Dave then delivers life-changing news. Just hours earlier, the government officially announced that the synthetic version of the protein has been successfully completed. The new formula is permanent. It can cure the virus entirely. Hearing this, Kate is stunned. Her mind spins with disbelief, pain, and regret. Just when a cure became real, it was already too late for Alex. She breaks down in tears, devastated by the irreversible loss. The timing couldn't have been more cruel.
People are going crazy. What's wrong?
Months pass. Kate now lives alone as a single mother. She has purchased the house she once dreamed of sharing with Alex. Though her life has changed forever, a part of him remains with her. She's pregnant with his child. As the final scenes unfold, Kate is seen quietly working on something in her office. She's gathering information, reviewing files, and preparing for something. It becomes clear that she hasn't forgotten the betrayal. She's tracking Jacob and Amber. Her eyes show a quiet determination. Whatever lies ahead, she's not just grieving anymore, she's planning, and with that, the film comes to an end.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Because by subscribing, you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.